Hello, and welcome to this midweek meditation. Probably not the most original theme, as I'll get to in a moment. Hopefully there's a little bit of originality in how I'm doing it anyway. So the theme this week, I was actually inspired by Karen's sermon in church on Sunday to think a little bit more about what she was talking about, and part of her theme was getting ready. And it got me thinking about this sort of whole idea of getting ready for Advent, which can mean so many different things and take us in so many different directions. But the direction it sent me in was to dig out a short story that's been sitting in my files for a long time, that I've not looked at for a long time. Not written by me. It was a short story that was given to me by somebody else to use. So I'm going to read that story to you. So my midweek meditation this week is basically me reading this story to you. Might be a good idea to close your eyes while I'm reading this. Focus on the words that I'm saying rather than my face. We don't need to see my face, but focus on the words that I'm saying as I'm telling the story. So just take a moment just to find a comfortable space. Find a comfortable time, close your eyes, and just listen along as I tell this story. The church was hushed, its stone walls holding the chill of December. Outside, frost clung to the windows like lace, but inside, the sanctuary glowed faintly with the soft amber of early morning. Clara moved quietly between the pews, her breath visible in the cold air, carrying a box of candles. Advent had begun, and today was the first Sunday, a day of hope. She placed candles in their holders, her fingers trembling slightly. It wasn't just a cold. This year felt heavier. The world outside seemed louder, harsher, and Clara wondered if hope was still enough. She paused at the wreath, its evergreen branches fragrant and alive, and set the first purple candle in place. The wreath looked beautiful, but fragile somehow, like a promise that might break. The door creaked open. Father Michael entered, his steps slow but steady, his eyes warm. "You're early," he said, voice echoing softly in the empty nave. Clara smiled faintly. "I wanted to make sure everything was ready." He nodded, then looked at the wreath. "Hope," he said simply, touching the candle. "It's not about everything being perfect. It's about believing light will come, even when the night feels endless." Clara swallowed hard. She thought of her brother overseas, her mother's illness, the headlines that screamed chaos. Light felt far away. But as Father Michael struck a match and the flame flickered to life, something stirred in her chest, a fragile warmth, like the first hint of dawn. The bell tower began to toll, calling the faithful in from the cold. Clara stood back, watching the single flame dance against the shadows. It was small, yes, but it was enough to begin. Soon footsteps echoed in the porch. Families entered, stamping snow from their boots, their voices hushed as they crossed the threshold. A child tugged at his mother's sleeve, pointing at the candle. "Why just one?" he whispered. Clara smiled and knelt beside him. "Because hope starts small," she said, "one light at a time." The boy nodded solemnly, as if this were a secret worth keeping. Clara rose and looked again at the wreath. 4 candles waited, but today only one burned, and yet in its glow the darkness seemed less certain, less strong. As the organ began to play, Clara slipped into a pew. She closed her eyes, letting the music wash over her. For the first time in weeks, she felt her shoulders loosen. The world outside was still broken, but here was a beginning, a single flame, a single word, hope.